Roland, we've talked and covered a lot today about digital twin.
We have.
VX, Event Tech Live, what we're going to be doing.
Yep.
But I'd like to take a couple of minutes to talk about what the future of the events industry looks like. There's lots of people trying to figure this out at the moment. Physical, hybrid, digital.
Yep.
You're clearly invested in physical or you wouldn't be at Event Tech Live.
For sure, yeah, absolutely.
Clearly a great company that does amazing work when it comes to digital for customers.
Yep.
There's still a lot of what ifs. How's it going to look? How do we make money from it? Is it going to cannibalise an audience?
Yeah.
What's your opinion? What does the next couple of years, maybe 10 years out, look like?
In terms of events, and this is something that we've talked about a lot, and we've talked about today.
We have, yep.
The future for me, and everybody said, oh, it's hybrid. But it's not that simple. The future for me is right size and right technology. Mm-hmm. Giant venues with lots of people who've got to travel an awful long way have major sustainability issues.
Yeah.
They also have issues with health concerns, about border access, about time and attendance. So while massive concerts and massive shows are great and they will carry on, no problem at all, I think from an event point of view, we should really, really look at what is right size physical, and preferably something that's more local. It's easy to travel to, it's convenient, it doesn't take too much of your day up, and it's not going to smash through lots of resources. And if you're going to do that, then what is the hybrid element of that? How much of this do we do live and how much of this do we broadcast at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're used to broadcasting, we're used to broadcasting. You know, online's not so scary from that point of view. We've all done a Teams call.
Absolutely, yeah.
And from that point of view, what's good about digital? So what's good about digital is accessibility is great. We can have an audience of 20,000 people watching us live. You can walk around an environment, you can interact with things, you can interact with each other. It doesn't replace physical, but it's as well as. So I think we need to look at events, and this is the great thing about you guys and about ETL. And honestly, this is why we are a partner. This is why we've brought our digital twin offering. It's why we've built a venue for ETL, because we can see that the future involves both physical, blended into digital, and purely digital when it's right. And I think from your point of view, you understand that as well. I think your audience understand it.
Yeah, I think so. We look at it as a strategy. Where does it make sense to have purely physical and just physical on its own? And we still do and will do those type of events. What makes sense as a purely digital event? We've had some of our most successful activations on the event space as digital-only formats. Very inclusive, no borders, cost effective for exhibitors and sponsors, high return value.
Sure. Yeah.
And then, as you said, blended. I think blended is a great opportunity for people to market their event, reach wider audiences, use that technology to engage them, capture them, market to them to come into future editions. I think what's also interesting is not everybody in your audience can always make every edition. You know, as we said earlier, train strikes, another COVID catastrophe, something else could just get in the way.
Or the venue closes.
Absolutely, we've seen that.
It happens.
It's what is plan B, but also why are we excluding people from participating that are great stakeholders in our event just because they can't physically make it, that one opportunity? That's
true. And you know, we did a survey. Surveys are great, aren't they?
Love a survey.
I love a bit of a survey. And our survey said and this is trade shows, particularly trade shows, you know, consumer shows, really, really good audience, and there's different good reasons for going digital with that. But from a trade show, from a B2B point of view, the research said, and there's a lot of people, that if they couldn't make it live, would it be because they'd already been to a digital one? Would I go to a digital one instead of, or would I only go to a digital one because I couldn't attend the live show?
Yeah.
And the reality is that events that already exist, brands that exist, audiences that exist, exhibitors that are already invested in stakeholders, we know what this is. Your audience understands what the subject matter is. You want to attend something. So if that can be a physical event, great. If I can't attend the physical one, I'd like to attend something digital. But I don't want it to be a lame website version of something. I actually want it to be a proper experience, something akin to going to a live event. And I think up until recent, you probably couldn't do that convincingly. Whereas now, VX platform, and I guess this is why we've partnered on this, that we both see the future the same way. It's a blended future. We absolutely, physical is the way forward, but also why aren't we using the best of digital?
Yeah.
And we should use the best of digital.
Absolutely. I think some of the fear or hesitation has been around revenue, right? Square meters sold, sponsorships on site sold, value proposition as well.
Yeah, mega anxiety. You know, you own a show, you run a show, and we run live shows, and you know we help physical venues. Nobody's going to turn up. What if I go digital? Nobody will turn up. The reality is that more people turn up to a physical show if it's got a really good digital promotional platform. It's something audiences can engage with before the show, during the show, after the show. It gives you more people who are more familiar with what's going on, and believe it or not, they want to turn up and see things and meet each other. They really do.
This technology is already really impressive. I hope everybody that's watching this goes and experiences the EventTech Live experience, because it really is immersive. The technology is advancing quite quickly in this market. What do you think will be the opportunities or possibilities as this technology develops? What tools or opportunities will it give us as an events industry?
Okay, so I mean, the key thing for us is that, I mean, we're stood in a studio.
Yeah.
We've got a very high resolution backdrop with some very high resolution graphics behind us. They look really nice. Typically, that's been a very expensive thing to do. So it's been preventative from a cost point of view. But I think the reality is that that's not the case so much now, because I think people are better at producing digital content. They're better at producing quality digital content. Audiences are much more willing to watch, to engage with it. And I think what we needed was a platform that allows you to put something on that looks great, is interactive, does the things you want it to do. There's no frustrations about downloading an app, downloading this, logging into that. Just make it work seamlessly, make it work nicely, and people will want to use it. And I think that was the thing preventing this really taking off. It was the ease of use, and it was the cost of putting it on. And that's why, from this point of view, an awful lot of what we do online costs about 10% of what it does to do something live. And I mean, that includes the travel, the cars, the people, the time, all those other hidden overheads. And again, we're not saying you shouldn't do that, because I think it's a really valuable thing to do. But let's not do digital, because there's an anxiety about it from traditional event organisers, owners, venue owners, stand builders. We've done tons of business with stand builders. We're building live stands that were designed digitally. So it feeds into itself, and I think that's what it is. It's that familiarity with what's possible.
Yeah, I think one of the other really exciting parts of these types of technology is the opportunity to launch experiences, events and shows in other regions that you may not have boots on the ground in.
That's true.
There's a risk associated with launching a physical event that first year out without understanding audience size and appetite and things like that.
Sure.
Maybe you're hearing from exhibitors that they want a show, maybe you're hearing from some attendees that they want a show in the region. It's extremely expensive to launch a show.
Yeah, it is.
And I think this technology allows us to provide a great experience, to whet the appetite, build audience, build traction, build some trust. Hey, maybe you're selling a physical show and you've got that planned and there's a date out there. Is there any reason you can't launch an experience like this 6 months out and start building in value to some of those exhibitors or sponsors that are going to be joining you at that physical show and already build value?
And it works.
Yeah. So Roland, we've talked about what the future holds for digital.
Yes, we have.
What that blended experience might look like.
We have.
Some of the benefits that we're going to see from the advancement of this technology and the way that organisers, exhibitors and attendees can benefit from this technology.
For sure.
But in a nutshell, what does the future hold for the events industry?
You're going to put me on the spot, right? In a nutshell, we've talked about blended environment. And really this is about the events industry not being scared of digital. And we've talked about this. You guys understand live, hybrid, digital. Make sure that you're not being prejudiced towards digital. Make sure that whatever your invested part of this industry is, that it's not stopping you thinking about how do I use digital. Digital does not solve everything. It won't solve everything, but it's a really important tool. And it's really important that the events industry gets on board with it, not necessarily just with our platform, but to understand what that blended future is. And essentially, it's because we build events and we hold conferences and we put exhibitions on for an audience. Let's give the audience the best experience they can have. And honestly, the best experience they can have is a great physical environment. It's something that they can go and interact with afterwards, and it's fun and convenient to access online. And there's a lot of benefits to that.
Absolutely. I think the biggest analogy I'll give is the print and publishing industry, which I was born into this sector. You know, digital and physical, those in-hand magazines, newspapers, they still exist.
Yep.
Now they go hand in hand. The businesses are healthier for it. The audience is much larger for it because they have a choice now of what they prefer, digital or physical.
True.
And they don't need to be one or the other. I think the opportunities are massive. So thank you, Roland, for talking us through your business and what we're doing for Event Tech Live and the partnership.
My pleasure.
For those that want to see the experience, do go to eventtechlive.com/on-demand, where this will be live to experience it. Once again, give us your feedback, reach out to Roland and the VX team.
Yep.
Ask me questions if you want my experience as well.
Thanks very much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.